All right, let's start. Again, thank you very much for everyone's time today for joining Mimaki Australia's team session at Mimaki Innovation Days today. My name is Tomomitsu Harada. Please call me Tomo. I'm a general manager from Mimaki Australia. Today, Mimaki Australian team would like to showcase studying Mimaki UV printing innovation histories. In this Mimaki Innovation Days, the Mimaki globally launched a new printing platform, which is 330 series for eco-solvent and dye sublimation. However, the UV printing solution is known as the one big portion of a printing market for its advantage and requirement. So today, I would like to introduce two of our key staff from Mimaki Australian team, who has got most advantage knowledge and skill set to promote Mimaki's product. So today's session, we have Mr. Brad Clayton, who is Mimaki Australia's National Marketing Manager with me. Also, Mr. Jason Hay, who is a National Sales Manager of Mimaki Australia, who has two key members from Mimaki Australia introducing and let you study Mimaki UV printing innovation history. Let us start our agenda today. First, I'd like to introduce more generic how we transformed Mimaki's UV printing technology since it was launched first in 2004. Next, introducing range of Mimaki UV printing technology and the product portfolio. Also, in Mimaki Australia, as well as Mimaki globally launched 2021, which is 3 months ago, the few new products for UV technology finally releasing, ready to release from this month for Australian market. So I would like to give some virtual demo and virtual videos for this product portfolio. We also prepared 10 minutes Q&A session for audience today. So if you have a question ready, please enter on a question and answer tab on the right-hand side chat room, or on the end of this session, please raise your hand from top bottom, and we will have you on live to discuss us on live. All right, I want to give a Brad-san for introducing our UV printing technology transformation. Brad-san, please.
Thanks, Tomo-san. I'd just like to welcome everyone to this webinar. We appreciate your time. Look, I'm just going to go over the transformation of Mimaki UV print technology, in particular our LED UV innovation more of late. So the way we live, work, engage with the world around us is being significantly reshaped by the global pandemic. From a print industry perspective, the versatility of UV LED technology gives print service providers an edge when it comes to being ready for the demands of the day. For Mimaki, UV LED is no new venture. We were among the first manufacturers to adopt the technology and have remained at the forefront of the field, continuing to devote a great deal of research and development to make our UV LED offering even stronger. So the benefits of UV LED are arguably more relevant than ever, as evidenced by the increasing number of businesses installing Mimaki machines equipped with UV LED technology. We will highlight some of these reasons today. So what I wanted to go over, I wanted to show a little bit of our history regarding where we've been with UV curing. And you can see here on this slide, we got into UV curing, or our first manufactured resale machine was the UJF605C in 2004. Now what I've highlighted here is the red dots are the dots that are metal halide curing. The green dots are LED UV curing. So it gives you a bit of a timeline of our technology and how we've transitioned into LED UV curing. All right, so one in particular I want to highlight was obviously the UJV 160, which was our original machine that brought us into the LED technology. And I just want to explain and go over a bit how we entered the market around that time and a brief history of how we achieved this. All right, the development of UV LED inkjet printer. Look, it was around the end of 2003 when Mimaki became up with an idea of UV LED usage. At that time, the development of high-power UV LEDs had only just started, and the UV output was still small. At the time, price was about 500,000 yen for every watt of UV output. That was about $7,000 AUD in 2013 prices. So it was difficult and expensive. Furthermore, since the radical polymerization type ink would often incur curing errors due to oxygen obstruction while being slowly cured under weak UV light, at that time it was feared that the original low output UV LEDs would not be suitable for UV curing, which made a lot of manufacturers not pursue the R&D regarding UV LEDs at the time. However, Mimaki pushed forward. The subsequent development of two key technologies allowed the development of commercially viable UV LED printers. One was the appearance of high output UV light emitting diodes. The other was the formulation of high sensitivity ink that is tuned to respond to the emission wavelength range of such UV LEDs. With the development of inks tuned for UV LED emissions, it became possible to completely cure the ink by using only about 100 to 300 millijoules per centimetre squared of light energy. Once these technical solutions became available, the development of UV LED cured Mimaki UJV 160 printer was started in 2006. At Drupa 2008 print show, Mimaki announced the launching of our UJV 160, which was pretty revolutionary at the time because it was the first LED UV cured wide format inkjet of its kind in the world. So we continually pursued to actually make sure that we would continue the LED revolution. And I think now we were certainly praised for being able to come to market first, because the majority of manufacturers now are actually creating LED UV cured solutions. So I'll pass over to Jace to give us more detail, especially on our product range and our offerings right now in 2022.
Thanks for that, Brad. Appreciate the dialogue on the LED technology so far from Mimaki Australia. I think I think the importance of LED in the last 4 or 5, 6, 7 years in the Australian market, more importantly, is, like Brad said, a lot of our competitors are actually starting to come out with the LED technology. Being around this industry for 25 years, it was clearly noted back in the day that LED was never going to work because they could never get the ink to cure to make it adhere to substrates. One thing I do, and I suppose envision with Mimaki Australia since 2008, that we've been able to not only diversify the LED technology, but also the curing technology, which enables us to get ink to stick to substrates and, more importantly, be more flexible. So there are certainly some benefits in regards to the reasons why Mimaki went to LED, but even to the point where our competitors are today are starting to try and work out how to use this technology in newer products. But what I'll do here now is just first and foremost, just start with our IP range of products that use LED technology, LED UV curing technology. And I'll start with the fastest selling flatbed in the Australian market today, the JFX 200 2513 EX. It's been around for the last 3 years in Australia. Its predecessor was the JFX 200 2513. Those two products probably today in the Australian market probably make up 25% of sales in the 4x8 flatbed sheet. We then move across to the JFX 2531 and the JFX 500. They're both LED products, again, different multiple print bed sizes and head configurations, but are both cured by LED technology. Now that's our standard 4x8 sheet, or alternatively the 2.1 by 3.1 meter bed size. We then move into the promotional products configuration of LED technology, starting with the 7151, which is the 510 by 710 bed size. Then we start with the entry-level UJF 3042 FX, which is our A3 size table with an open system. And as our progression into this technology certainly moved into the latest technology of the UJF 3042 Mark II, the 6042 Mark II, and obviously the newer products, which Tomo-san will outline in further detail soon. So that's our IP product range. I'll now move into our SG product range. I suppose from my perspective in the industry, Mimaki Australia brought out the UCJV LED, UCJV 300, 160, and the UCJV 150, 160 approximately about 3 years ago. To be brutally honest, it revolutionized the way ink was put on paper in the sign and graphics market. From a solvent perspective, we had to have substrates that had to have a chemical coating, which would enable the actual ink to adhere to the substrate. The actual benefit of obviously UV LED and with the introduction of the UV LED enabled us to actually use LED technology and UV ink to actually cure and have the ink to sit on the paper. I suppose from my perspective, from myself to the end user, that enabled us to actually not print on stocks that were quite expensive, whether they be aqueous stocks or chemical coated stock, but actually then be able to print onto a 90 GSM bond paper. An 80 GSM bond paper, or even a 23 GSM tissue paper, which we've actually converted in the showroom and done samples on before. So what the UV LED technology enables us to do is to print on a non-coated stock. It's made the customers do a faster return on investment for their product that they purchase. But not only that, the biggest part of the business is that they've been able to print on a 26 cents per square meter paper, right up to your generic coated metallic films and gold films today. So the UCJV 300 160 since its introduction, I think we're getting close to, or just tipped over 300 units sold in the last 2.5 years. It is today the go-to market in regards to having that technology, being able to produce. It does have a print and cut option in it. And I suppose what Mimaki did then is listen to the market, is that they actually had a print and cut solution for the UCJV 300. They then actually revolutionized the actual machine itself, new head technology, same inks, different head technology, same lamp configuration, but I suppose at the end of the day brought out a UJV 100, which enabled you to actually have the same capabilities, or almost the same capabilities as a UCJV 300, just without the cutter option. So those people that were looking for more of a production product, and I suppose that was the other key factor in the UV LED, is that there's no outgassing. There's no 6-hour outgassing. There's no drying out, no drying times and everything else like that. The UV LED enables you to actually print on all our devices and be able to cut simultaneously straight away after completion of printing. So that's been one of the key factors, obviously, in the growth in regards to UV LED in the market today. Moving on, Mimaki then obviously introduced the 3.2 meter wide. So obviously, they've gone from a 1.6 meter space down to 1.3, comes in 750 mil wide in the UCJV series. But then we obviously introduced the 3.2 meter wide UV printer, exactly the same configuration, but just obviously dual roll capabilities, or alternatively 3.2 meter wide substrates to do banners and things like that. So yes, that's a UJV 55-320. Just moving forward in regards to a later technology, Mimaki introduced probably around about 18 months ago the Mimaki the Mimaki 3D UJ-553. It's all the acronyms of Mimaki 553, and that was actually again an inkjettable resin ink that was cured by UV LED to actually create 3D models in full color. So using the technology that we've actually used in the past, that we known that was proven and factual in regards to being able to cure UV ink, we developed this 3D printer 18 months ago and brought it to the market to give customers the versatility of actually creating architectural designs, medical objects, or even just figurines and things like that. So it's been certainly a vision of Mimaki to actually increase, I suppose, the amount of products that we can actually do or manufacture with LED, but it's been a clear perspective in regards to how we're actually going to move forward with new products. So I just wanted to give everyone an understanding of obviously the current range. I'll hand over to Tomo-san now, and Tomo-san will introduce the new product ranges that we have in the market today.
Thanks, Jason-san, for your presentation regards to our wide product portfolio in just for UV LED, LED UV products.
Thank you.
So probably I'd like to, send back Jason-san, before we talk about the current, recent product portfolio. I'd like to have, your, sales skill set for the market. What's the benefit you have been discussing for end users regards to, the benefit of a UV LED ink before we go into the, the product portfolios in Australia.
Okay. No worries. Thanks, Thomas-san. Probably just missed out on this slide, but that's okay.
That's okay.
I think the key benefits, and I'm just going to outline them here. I mean, I've obviously been in this industry for a long time, and I've been on the other side of the fence actually selling mercury arc lamps. But in the last 8 years, not only just with Mimaki, but with another manufacturer of actually selling LED technology. And I think that the benefits outlined here are clear ones, which I use all day, every day. And I think they're clear indications and the reasons why there's some huge benefits to LED. The biggest one for me is UV LEDs are relatively inexpensive and have a longer life compared to mercury arc lamps. What that really means to me is that mercury arc lamps need to be replaced every 500 hours. Okay, where UV LED technology, Mimaki warrants their LED curing lamps for 5,000 hours. Now the benefits of LED, it's instant on, instant off. So that 5,000 hours is actually over printable substrates. What you generally find with mercury arc lamps is that they take approximately 5 to 10 minutes to warm up. They're actually on all the time using shutters, and then they actually need to cool down. That's actually time and material that you're actually spending, unfortunately, to actually cure UV ink onto substrates. The benefits of LED, instant on, instant off, and no warm-up time is a clear indication, I suppose, in one aspect in why you would actually go with LED technology. The second one I'm finding in the actual in the industry is the color consistency of LEDs versus mercury arc lamps. And I use this analogy. If you turn your lamps on, if you turn your lights on in your house and you turn them off and on, off and on, off and on, they actually get weaker and weaker and weaker. Mercury arc technology enables the actual lamp intensity to start at 100 and slowly degrade as the lights are being physically used. The issues that can create to you is tacky printing, or even to the point of non-adhesion onto some substrates. The benefit again from LED is that the consistency that you do have with LED technology is the ink stays the same temperature from day 1 to day 5,000 hours. So your color consistency, not only is it the grading and the light change in the colors as they're curing, the LEDs will actually stay consistently the same temperature as long as the machine's in the same environment to give you that color consistency generally over the life of the product. Working with Mimaki LED technology over the last 8.5 years, I can warrant and tell you that I've never replaced an LED lamp in our technology. It's proven and it's factual. The other one too is that they have low energy requirements and can be switched on and off almost instantly. So I'll just reiterate that again. When the lamp actually physically comes across, the lamp actually physically, I'm not sure if you can see this one, I'll go it this way. The lamp will actually physically turn on. It'll actually go across and actually automatically turn off. A mercury arc lamp will do identically the same thing, but it's actually already on here. The shutter will turn off once it actually goes over the substrate. So that generally means that the lamp is actually on all the time. So that's what that physically means. In addition, they run much cooler than mercury arc lamps, making it possible to print on a much wider range of substrates and heat-sensitive substrates, to the point that I've actually seen UV LED, believe it or not, print on water. So there's a little video on YouTube that people would have seen with the Heineken video where the UV lamp has been able to cure the ink actually onto water. To the point, even in our showroom in Rydermere, New South Wales, we've been able to print on the bubble wrap. It's less, there's no heat emission in regards to using LED than there is mercury arc lamps. Those two devices, not saying that we print on water using heat or anything else like that, but it's just a known fact that in the marketplace that it does give you the versatility to certainly print on a wide range of substrates without distortion. I'll give you another example in regards to what LED versus a mercury arc lamps on a roll-to-roll printer would do. If the mercury LED is cold curing and it's actually going across the actual substrate, going backwards and forwards all the time over the same spot, on an LED, there's no heat emissions. So that material will actually feed through the machine at a consistent pace without any warping. What happens with UV is that if you use mercury arc lamps on a roll-to-roll printer, basically what happens is that the platinum plate underneath it actually starts to warm up and you actually start to get a tiger or a moire effect across the material. That unfortunately enables you to have head strikes and not only that, inconsistencies of print quality or even color. So that's another advantage of obviously LED. On top of all that, the other thing about LED, it's actually not in here, but the last one I'll mention, and I mentioned it just quickly before on my previous slide, one of the key benefits of LED is that it's its flexibility. I won't show you in this bond paper because this is actually bond paper, but it's the flexibility of us being able to fold this, either whether this being core flutes or whether this being paper, the flexibility of the ink. You won't probably be able to see it on the actual presentation, but there's no cracking. So that enables us to actually either cut through routing, cut through cutting, or even cutting with a Stanley knife, and the flexibility of actually the ink, enabling you to actually get less errors or being less versatile in regards to how you treat substrates. So there's a lot more versatility there. It has it's a huge environmental attractive qualities, especially in the lack of emissions of VOCs. And that's just a proven point that LED technology has low VOCs, and unfortunately mercury arc lamps has high VOCs and things like that. But I suppose, Thomas-san, I just wanted to give, and thanks for letting me understand, I suppose, giving my value of the benefits of LED over mercury arc lamps. I hope our viewers understood that easily, and yeah, I'll pass it over to you.
All right, thanks that explanation, Jason, in regards to how sustainable it is, the LED UV technology for inkjet printing. So as I said in the beginning of this session, so Mimaki Australia has launched since last week the new eco-solvent production printing model, the 330 series, which almost automatically gives the profitability for production volume printing market. However, for still entry model, we've got a more sustainable idea by utilizing UV LED technology for less power usage comparing to other printing solutions, as well as the instant drying capability of a UV LED inks. So now this is a second half session of this webinar. As a Mimaki Australia, I would like to soft launching our new product portfolio of a UV LED industrial product platform, which was released 3 months ago from Mimaki Global However, though, unfortunately, because of the global pandemic period, because of the parts and the freight and those type of circumstance, so we finally received our product demo unit as well as the first lot of selling product to the market just last week. So I'd like to I'd like to be proud of releasing those products within this webinar. So let me go over the product by each usage and applications. So we've got 4 different products per application, starting with UJF series for industrial small size of a flatbed. JFX series are grand format flatbed which prints more than 2 meters of stock at directly on a UV flatbed. UJV series with roll-to-roll and wide format are more or less than 1.6 meters and 3D printing full color products. So by breaking down to the application usage, UJF series mostly workable for promotional printing such as smartphone case, mugs and water bottles. Basically UV ink sticks anything other than except air and water. So it depends on the material how good ink sticks, but basically ink sticks almost anything you want to print on the surface. So some industrial manufacturer, such as electrical appearance and so on, it's printing on a control panel because some of our ink is flexible. So by printing on a control panel with a membrane switch, membrane buttons, the ink won't crack even after 1 million clicks of the button. Depends on the material to print. Also, we recently launched the the more flexible 3D molding science inks. So it actually more flexible than whatever the ink we used to have. So we actually expand our possibility of applications. For JFX grand format, it's mainly used for the large format signage such as co-fruit and acrylic panels, as well as the furniture decors. So some of the people use the printing on the half rubber material, or sometimes pure natural fabric and so on, in order to make furniture and wall decorations such and such. Also, our technology of a flatbed, which supports up to 6 colors, including light cyan and light magenta on the ink type. So it's making more accurate printing for the half tone and skin tone. So some of our customers printing on the photo panels directly into the metal or acrylic panels. For UJV series, it's meant to be a sign and display mainly. So it's printing labels, banner and flags, indoor and outdoor signage for more likely generic signage purpose. Also 3D, full color 3D UJ 3D printer. It goes to totally different markets such as direct printing from zero, figurine, or construction models for the manufacturing and construction industry, as well as the medical and study models. So we've got a few customers within Australia printing all those, and making such a profit. The benefit of UV printing solution, before we go to more details on each the printer series, Mimaki has multiple ink types for even one UV LED printing solution for needs of market, industry, and applications. Hard ink for more resistance for chemical, or soft ink or flexible ink for more different applications. Whitest white in the market. If you have compared the the white 100% printing, most of the white ink in the market gets yellowish easily and after a couple of days. Mimaki provides the whitest white UV LED ink in the market, which hard to settle within the ink bottle or hard to get yellowish when printing. One software to run the most products. Besides, except for 3D UJ, which needs the different type of application, different type of RIP software. However, every single printer from Mimaki Australia, from Mimaki Global, comes with one license of the RIP. But if you've got one roll feeding model one flatbed model or two of a UJF promotional printing model, you can run from one computer because one software supports everything we have. Not only UV LED printing, but the entire portfolio we have is supported by one software easily. The varnish ink, which is called clear ink, in order to increase the value add printing products, such as making a glossy finish or spot gloss or even texture finishing easily from our software and clear ink capabilities. Let me go over the details of each product application, product per application portfolio. First off, the UJF series, which is a small format flatbed. It's starting from 2011, from 2010, and what we have as an entry platform is UJF 3042FX, which was first launched in 2011, and we also relaunched 4 years ago because there are more customers who want to enter to this market. However, they will not know if this printing business becomes more profitable or less profitable, or becomes success or unsuccess. So in order for try and give a try for the customers, which is a less budget requirement, so we soft launched this platform, which is A4 size. We also proud of releasing globally 3 months ago in 2021, November, and in Australia, we released from this month, UJF 3042 or 6042 Mark II E model, which is enhanced model from existing Mark II model. Also UJF 7151 Plus 2, which is a high-end, better accuracy model, which is released at the same time. So I'm going to give you a quick video in regards to demo and the explanation of this new platform of UJF 7151 for 2 minutes. right. Thanks to everyone for watching this 3-minute video. So it's, as you can see from this video, UJF 7151 Plus platform is really industrial platform. And unfortunately, it's not for like everyone use for like a promotional printing item, promotional item printing. So, more likely, our market is probably 80 to 90% filled up by this, lower end platform, which is UJF 3042 and 6042 Mark II and E series as well. Just gives you the the benefit of, in general, Mimaki UJF range of a UV LED printing. We support total of 4 different ink types for niche application, starting from generic ink, which is the hard ink for using more likely the promotional printing item, such as USB stick, USB memory, or the phone case and so on. But we also have a flexible ink to support foldable phone case as well. And we newly released the LES 350, which is a thermal transfer, the forming ink for supporting a niche application for 3D signage. Also, all Mimaki's UV LED flatbed platform has a position of a colored print head and white print head staggered away position. So doesn't matter if you print on CMYK on a white surface, or if you print white and color or color and white into the clear material or colored material like a black or brown or those, or wooden material, it will not affect the print speed because it's a staggered position of print head. So it will not affect your calculation of a return on investment of a printing time. Also, Mimaki, not only whitest white ink in the market. However, all Mimaki's UV LED printing system has embedded a white ink recirculation system in order to minimize maintenance cost of white ink usage. Second to it, I'd like to talk about the grand format series JFX portfolio. So after we launched the most successful platform in Australia in 2014, which is JFX 200, we have released 2019 the EX model. So by having those 2 models, we are purely #1 market share in Mimaki Australia within those platform in marketplace. And we have sold over 150 units, which is purely #1 number. We also launched this month JFX 600, which is a more high volume platform for really high-end usage. So I'm going to give you the quick video again for JFX 600 platform. Enjoy. Right, it's exciting time for us and having JFX 600 launched. Fortunately, many of our JFX 200 existing customer, start inquiring us that the availability of JFX 600. That really proves that the customer printing business with JFX 200 is really successful, and which already grown the business of their printing industry. Feature of Mimaki JFX range is it's proven as knowing by a customer the fastest return on investment within this platform in 2.5 meters of a direct printing system onto a flat signage. Less maintenance cost, it is due to the number of the print head, especially JFX 200, even if it supports full color plus white, clear, and primer as a full set of ink configuration. It uses 3 print heads within the system. So it's not like the number of the print head is as many as what the color set is in. So you can really expect a less maintenance cost for the entire period of printer's lifetime. Also, again, all the flatbed series comes embedded the white ink recirculation system to minimize the white ink maintenance cost. The third portfolio regards our sign display roll-to-roll UJV series, which was, I think it was enough explained by Mr. Jason. So let me skip this session quickly. The lastly regards to full color 3D printing system, which also uses UV curing printing system. So in addition to our existing portfolio, which we start on 2018, 3D UJ553, which is real industrial, the product platform, which is 50 centimeters cubical bed size, which we have more demands to the entry level. We now launching this month the new platform 3D UJ2207, which is 20 centimeters smaller bed size, but you can still do the same job as same colorful job as what you have done or what you are capable on 553 series. So it is known as the benefit 10 million colors are achievable. And I like this solution, water-soluble support material. When you print, the software automatically adds the support material to build up the 3D models. However, this support material is easily solvable by tap water. So after printing, you just put print result into the bin or into the bucket, and it's solvable automatically after a couple hours. Up to 50 centimeters cubical modeling bed. So now I would like to play the last video for this session to demonstrate the features and benefit of a new 3D UJ2207. All right, thanks for watching our last video of 3D UJ2207, our new the full color 3D printing system. So lastly but not least, I would like to say thank you to all the attendees, came into this webinar. Really appreciate your time and support to Mimaki Australia and Mimaki Global. So before I go to, before we go to a question and answer session, we Mimaki Australian team would like to really feel sorry to the people who affected, the heavy rain and the flood into your lives. So we really feel sorry about, and if there's any way and anyhow the Mimaki Australia could support your life into a printing business, please inquire to local the Mimaki dealers, local Mimaki sales and service staff, or call Mimaki Australia directly to escalate your support. And again, thank you very much for your cooperation and the support to Mimaki Australia. So I'd like to move to the question and chat session to attendees. The question you might have. You can raise hand, and we will give you a live and active voice in order to communicate with us. Alternatively, please add your question into a question answer session tab. So we keep opening this session for next 10 minutes. So feel free to ask us any questions. All right, while we are waiting for questions coming, I would like to quickly introduce our rest of our agenda within Mimaki Innovation Days. Mimaki Australia's textile and apparel product application session will start this afternoon. So this afternoon, I will be introducing new dye sublimation platform TS330 in public webinar. Tomorrow from 11 o'clock Sydney time, 10 o'clock Brisbane time, we are introducing our textile apparel, the channel manager, Mr. Iman Monem, who is our go-to guy for textile application. And he will be introducing our wider portfolio of the textile printing solution in general. So if you have time available, please register and please join today's session.
Hey, Thomas-san, thanks for introducing the new products for us this afternoon. I just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that the availability of the products in the actual showroom in New South Wales. The JFX 600 is currently in the showroom as of now, so we'll be able to showcase and demonstrate that one at any time. The newer products, the 2207 is currently being set up in our showroom. in New South Wales, Rydamere. So if anybody wants some demonstrations or information on it, I'm thinking in the next 2 weeks we'll have that product available for showcase. The new UJF 6042 Mark II E series, the enhanced series, we will be putting in our showroom within the next 2 weeks as well. So within the next 3 or 4 weeks, we'll have the new platform of UV products in the showroom to showcase to our network, as well as our customers. So feel free to give Mimaki Australia a call on 02 8036 4500 to arrange a demonstration or some product information on the new products we've discussed today.
Thanks, Jason-san, for details of the schedule. Really appreciate that, and really exciting time to have those new products, into our house for demonstrating. There are a few attendees came into this session from the middle. So if you'd like to repeat this session, please go back in the browser and click recorded session. The recorded session will be available for free broadcasting within 2 hours. Right, I believe it's time to wrap this session. So again, thanks everyone attendees joining us for our webinar, and I thank you to Mr. Jason and Mr. Brad for your knowledge and the introduction of our technologies. And I will see you in afternoon webinar. Thank you.
Thanks, Thomas-san.
Anytime, son. Thank you.
Thank you. See you.